Hey fellow gamers, sorry. Welcome to the December live stream. I'm happy that you are here. I hope you can see and hear me well. I did play a little bit of the music, but I think I need to adjust the volume a little bit again. Let me just see. Yeah, it should be fine. But let me know if the audio is not good. If you can't hear me, I have the chat window here, and as you can see, I have some Christmas tree behind me as well. So yeah, welcome to the December stream. I have some positive stuff that I want to share today, aside from the winner of the flop of the year, of course. So yeah, we have a lot of information that we've got in the meantime about the Witcher 4 as well. I have some information about Exodus and a couple of other topics as well, so it should be fun for you, and there's a lot to be discussed if you are interested. So yeah, just by the way, regarding the chat window, I have a delay there. So if you write something, it takes a little bit until the message pops up. I did move it from that side to this side because it's easier for me to read. And it was the microphone was a little bit in the way the last time, so I did put it on to this side. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm happy that we are almost at the end of the year. Why? Because it was really not so great a year for gaming, especially, even though I had some changes personally now, especially at the end, which were quite awesome. So first and foremost, I want to welcome every single of the new subscribers. In the past few days, the subscriber count has been going up all the time. And every time when I'm refreshing the pages, I'm just really surprised, like what's going on and what's happening. So it's really awesome to see all of you here. It's great. And I'm really looking forward to share with you some more stuff. I hope that you like the channel so far. I have various vids about various topics. So I think there's something a little bit for everyone. And yeah, by the way, also one small thing that I want to share regarding this live stream, but you have also probably noticed it in a couple of the vids that I have shared in the meantime. I do have some pets here, and I have to keep that door behind me a little bit ajar, otherwise it would be a ton of scratching and very nervous pets. So I have to keep the door a little bit ajar just to give them the space to walk around. It also means that we can encounter some zoomies, unfortunately. So I cannot vouch if we don't get some. But yeah, just so you are aware. So there are some pets here, especially the cats have zoomies quite often. So it's 2 dogs and 2 cats, just in case you are interested. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to welcome every single one of you. It's really awesome to see you here. And I will be continuing to do these live streams for now once a month, also coming forward or going forward into the new year. At least for now, because I'm focusing more on the pre-recorded vids that I can script and maybe go into more details and also play a little bit with the editing. So I prefer to do the pre-recorded vids, but I also want to be live for you there. But just FYI, for now, nothing will change probably. What I'm going to do and what I'm going to review is probably the, let's say, analytics to see when people are online. For now, the live streams are on Fridays, but maybe if it would be more feasible for you on a Sunday or on a Saturday, I'm happy to move the stream, but I will definitely look at the times when most of you are there. YouTube Studio is good in that sense that it gives you in the analytics as well, like a good review, which times are those when most people are online and watching the channel. So I think it's best then to adjust the times going forward for you, because it's mainly for you, the channel here, and also the vids and also the live streams, of course. And yeah, let me go to the first topic. So the first topic, which is also visible on the thumbnail which I have posted, is the winner of the flop of the year. We had the Game Awards last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember anymore. So yeah, Astrobot has won Game of the Year. I'm pretty sure you have seen that and you've been following up on that. I still think that Wukong should probably have won the Game of the Year, but hey, Astrobot was quite popular. I have to say, definitely there's a ton of people that I know that have been playing Astrobot, so I'm not wondering that they won. But there is a long discussion, of course, whether the Game Awards are not rigged. I think the jury isn't exactly the greatest. And instead of giving the most, let's say, percentage to players, or the biggest vote to the players, and then maybe have some journalists chime in with their opinion, unfortunately, the players don't really have that much of a voice, as we discussed already on the last stream. So the journalists basically can decide with 90% of their vote which game is winning which prize, and the players' voice only counts with 10%, and that's crap, to be honest. So yeah, I have my opinion about the Game Awards, but to be honest, I was a little bit surprised that this year it was kind of, let's say, toned down in terms of like going overboard with games winning prizes that most people think that they didn't deserve it. So this year, actually, there were a couple of games which have won some of the prizes that actually really deserve it. So I think in that sense, we have seen a little change this year. And also, of course, there has been a ton of new games that have been introduced. One of them was The Witcher 4, which we go into later. But one thing, of course, we have had a vote. And let me share maybe the screen or my desktop, which will be awfully full at this time. But let me just open the stuff that I have prepared. I have counted the votes from the polls. Let me switch to the desktop screen. Okay, so I think you can see it now. And I think it would be good if you could see my face there as well. Let me just unlock it. Okay, there I am. Good. So here's the poll. And the poll is telling us that the winner is, as you can see, Concord. So I have prepared also something. And the winner is Concord. So we have a game that was already shut down. I think it was quite close with Dragon Age the Vanguard, as you can see. So the Concord game has received 52 votes, and Dragon Age the Vanguard has received 50. So it was quite close. But I do think that the game Concord is deserving the first place, considering how quickly it was shut down. Let me pull out a little information regarding that one. And the Concord video game is something that was a complete miss financially, of course. The reception, the critical reception was mixed, although I think people were quite bashing the game and they were really criticizing it. But yeah, of course, then you have on the other hand the journalists who were praising it. And yeah, upon release, the game was a commercial failure that failed to exceed 700 simultaneous players on the Steam platform. And that's something to say. And then on September the 3rd, Sony announced that Concord would be taken offline. And then I think on the 6th, they actually turned it off. Yeah, on September the 6th. So congratulations, Concord, the flop of the year. And because the flop of the year deserves a prize as well, let me switch. So I have prepared something, which is this. And in case you're wondering what this is, it's not a golden raspberry. And I know it's not exactly great. I'm not so good at arts and crafts. But in case you're wondering what this is, let me switch. And as you can see on the screen, the flower is called Amorphophallus titanum, or in other words, the corpse flower. Because it's the most stinking flower probably that exists on this planet. And I think it's a very deserving prize for the flop of the year. So yeah, Concord, there you go, the corpse flower. So that's for the winner of this flop of the year. I think, as I said, very deserving. And let me just go back a little bit to the poll. Let me just bring it up like this so I can look at it. So as you can see, I did run the poll into... basically, I did have to do two polls. And one was until the 13th of December and one was then until the 19th of December. And that was because whether I was creating the poll on YouTube or on X, you cannot provide more choices than 4. Unfortunately, I was limited with that. So even though we had 7 games originally to choose from, I had to do it in 2 polls. And then I picked those games which have received in the first round the biggest votes or the most votes. And then I created the second poll, as you can see. So the second poll was then counted together and the result is on the screen. So yeah, it was quite narrow with Dragon Age the Vanguard, and I do not wonder because there's a lot of people on the channel that actually watch Dragon Age the Vanguard or have been here because of the vids that I did on Dragon Age the Vanguard. So naturally on YouTube, a lot of people were voting for that. On X, actually, most of the people were voting for Concord. So honestly, Concord is a deserved winner, at least for now. I mean, the Dragon Age, the Vanguard, at this point that wasn't, let's say, shut down, or the studio. Although, yeah, I don't think it's going to take way too long, to be honest. Yeah, so that much for this portion. Let me quickly switch because I am not sure if I'm seeing the chat renewing or refreshing. So let me just quickly change the setting here and let me have a look at the live stream or the live page. And let me have a look. I can see that there are some viewers here and the chat is live. Okay, good. So it's refreshing. Okay. I just wanted to check because you never know. Sometimes there are some technical difficulties, which I had now as well. I had the camera closed still. Okay. So that much for this topic. The next topic, Witcher 4. There's been a few posts in the meantime since I have posted my last vid. I did a vid on the Witcher 4. In case you haven't seen it, basically I was discussing what was presented in the trailer, this 6 minutes trailer that we have seen with Ciri, and I shared my thoughts on the trailer, but from a perspective of comparing it with the lore and with the canon. And as I have stated there, and I'm also repeatedly stating all the time, for me, the books are the only canon. So I really only look at what's in the books, and I have stressed it out in the vid as well. I am aware that for the games even to exist, the game devs had to basically deviate from the canon, but the way how they did it, they created like a separate timeline. So that was okay as a setup for the games, and in general, during those games, they did stick a lot to what was written in Sapkowski's books, and they at least kept what I called in my vid the soul of Sapkowski's books. Of course, naturally, we could meet a lot of the characters that were there, so they were basically depicted in the game really as they were in the books. And it was really very recognizable for the original fans of the book series, so that's why the games have been also such a big success. I think that was the contributing factor, that they didn't deviate so much from the original books. Now, my problem is that when I have seen the trailer, it's not about Ciri as such. I honestly don't care whether in a game, whether I play as a male or female or whatever. Okay, that's not the point, because I've seen that was what most people have said. Like, yeah, people have problems with a woman as a protagonist. Yeah, that's BS. I play most of the RPGs where I have the option to play as a female. I play as a female. So that's not my problem. My problem is that they have broken the lore already at the start of the game. So they are already basing the fourth game on a broken lore. And that's what I hate. I really dislike what they did with Ciri. Ciri is such an awesome character going by the books. She has amazing abilities that nobody else has. She also in The Witcher 3, she had fantastic skills that were very different than Geralt's, and that's why people also liked to play as Ciri, or those parts where you could play as Ciri, because you had a very different combat style. And for me, the abilities that she has gave her such a big advantage. There was really no reason for her to become a Witcher. And as I said previously, it's really deviating a lot from the original lore, and there is a ton of explanation in the books why Ciri cannot be a Witcher. Definitely cannot undergo the trial of the grasses as an adult. Like, that was almost excluded almost immediately, like everywhere. So it's, for me, it's complete nonsense, and the fact that it's based on this kind of lore breaking already from the start is making me very wary about the upcoming game. And I did share also my opinion on what could have been. So what I am surprised is the discussion that's going on in the meantime, where everybody's saying, okay, well, it was either Geralt or Ciri. And I think that's like very narrow view. Who said you cannot create a completely new character or take some other character and start a trilogy with that character? That's a complete nonsense. So for me, that's the problem, that people are seeing it just either A or B, not even considering any other options, C, D, E, whatever. And it's uncreative. And the world that Sapkowski has depicted is so vast and had so many opportunities to be explored. And with Ciri, again, it's narrowing it down to at least what they were showing us. It's narrowing it down to be on the continent, be in the same areas that we probably already know, or even if it's like in the north, maybe Kovir or Povis. It's the same. Okay, you have Ciri at hands. Why don't you like create a game when she can jump to another world, and why don't you place the game then in a completely different world, right? So you have so many options already, whether it's Ciri and with Ciri or with a completely new protagonist. And instead, what do I see in the trailer is Ciri basically behaving like Geralt 2.0, as I said. So she was talking like Geralt, walking like Geralt, behaving like Geralt. It was just Geralt in Ciri's skin talking with Ciri's voice, not even that, because she has a new VA, and I will be honest, I'm not fond of the new voice actress. I understand that they wanted to have like a more mature or more older sounding voice. But still, when they were providing more information after the release of the trailer, they said like it's a couple of years after the end of The Witcher 3, and the voice does not change that much in just a couple of years, right? So yeah, if we would see Ciri originally as a 20-year-old girl and now you would introduce her as a 50-year-old girl, yeah, then probably I would agree that the voice should probably change a little bit. But now it doesn't really make sense. So yeah, that's another thing that was like really kind of weird for me to hear the new VA, to be honest. And yeah, it's there's a lot of things to unpack here. So basically, a lot of people, I would say majority of the people were happy to seeing the new trailer and happy with Ciri being there. But then there was a portion of the fan base which were voicing their opinions regarding Ciri, that it's really not according to the lore and it's not really making much sense. And this critique or this critical point of view has been basically answered by the game devs, or they try to answer it. And let me go now into a little bit into what I have prepared, because I'm not really that sure, to be honest, that the points that they have been saying as a response to this critique are actually valid. I don't think so. But yeah, let me go into the details here. So let me maybe switch back to the stuff that I have prepared. And where is it? Yeah, I have a lot of windows open. Let me just switch it now. Okay, so you should be able to see it on the screen. So the Witcher 4 game director and narrative director respond to trailer backlash and criticism, it says here. Let me make it a little bit bigger for myself to see it. And they were addressing these points where they were saying one of the reasons why they were saying that they chose Ciri was, again, just, yeah, we wish to play another game with Geralt, but we decided to make it like with Ciri because, yeah, maybe Geralt shouldn't be in all the games, etc., etc. Again, as I said, that's a very narrow point of view, because there's not just option A or B. You could have chosen another 100 different options and you didn't. So yeah, it's telling me something about the creativity of the people if they don't even think about other options. But what is surprising to me to hear is, let me just switch. There is something regarding Ciri. So Weber also justified the fact that Ciri is a witcher given she's described as a witcher in the books. When asked if Sapkowski approves of Ciri being a witcher, Weber said, I mean, I can actually give you a very good answer because it's the answer that Andrzej Sapkowski usually gives. The answer is in the books. And in the books, Andrzej Sapkowski called Ciri a witcher multiple times, and Geralt called Ciri a witcher in the books too. So I think that basically says what Andrzej Sapkowski thinks about the topic. And that's exactly what I think is wrong. Sapkowski is pointing them to the books. And in the books, whenever Ciri is called a witcher, and she is, it is most of the time as a joke or in a derogatory manner, to be honest. And that's something where he forgot to say that. She was called, for example, like, oh, that witcher girl by Yennefer. When Yennefer meets her the first time after she was already trained at Kaer Morhen, where she was with the other witchers. And as I said in my vid, where I discussed this topic quite extensively, they took her to Kaer Morhen and trained her simply because they were not sure what to do with her. She was a small child. They were not used to raising a small girl. They didn't know what to do with her. And basically they decided to give her, aside from some education, also some physical training, because it was good for a child to get some physical training. And the only way how to do it they knew was to basically train the same practical stuff that the Witcher boys have done, right? And she really didn't have that great manners when she came out of Kaer Morhen, because she was also there, of course, with a ton of other witchers, which were not really exactly the best influence to a small girl, let me put it that way. So when Yennefer meets her the first time, Ciri is kind of stubborn, and she's really like talking back, and she's really not very nice to Yennefer. And of course, it's very hard to be nice to Yennefer, in my opinion, but okay. And Yennefer sees that behavior, and that's why she calls Ciri at that moment that witcher girl, because basically, in her opinion, the witchers are somebody who's like lower than she is. They don't have really good manners. That's at least like Yennefer's opinion. And she sees that the little girl has spent way too much time with the witchers and now behaves like in a bad manner the same way as the guys did. So of course she said, yeah, that little witcher girl. So that was one of the examples, for example, like in the books. And then there were some other opportunities in the books where she was called like the witcher girl. I think it's also mentioned here in that article, actually. But what the interviewed devs forgot to say is that she was only called like the witcher or a witcher girl, not because she was a real witcher or because they really wanted to make a witcher out of her, but simply because she spent too much time with the witchers at Kaer Morhen when Geralt saved her from Sintra, or found her after Sintra was destroyed. And that was the only thing that they knew what to do with her. So yeah, she didn't really exactly have the best manners. And that's why they were calling her like that. She had her own sword. So yeah, some of the people were calling her a witcher girl as well, because they've seen her train with a sword and being with witchers, or with Geralt, who's a witcher. It was not meant as Ciri being a witcher. So they are twisting the lore, and they twist the stuff that's written in the books to suit them, but it's not how it's meant in the books. And I believe what Sapkowski is saying here, or why he's replying the way he does, is because, of course, if they are going to use, again, his world or his characters, he's going to get some money from that. So why should he bash a game and say something negative about it where he will have some money from it? I doubt that. So yeah, that's why he's so politely saying it's in the books. You take out whatever you want out of that, what he says. But I think he's clearly saying it's in the books, and in the books, Ciri is not a witcher, or not called a witcher because she is becoming a witcher. No, it's actually, especially from people like Yennefer, or even I think Triss called her once like that. Like, it's quite meant in a bad way, and let's say derogatory. So yeah, it doesn't fit the narrative, I would say, what they are trying to twist here. So yeah, that's my opinion on this, and that also means that, again, it doesn't make sense for me that the main character for this game, which is called The Witcher, is Ciri. It just doesn't. So yeah, I am not so fond of that, and when I see how they are breaking the lore already here, it kind of makes you wonder what else is coming your way, because it does raise a couple of red flags. And again, I have to say, it's not about Ciri as a character as such. I really like Ciri. I like her in the books, and I even liked her in The Witcher 3 when she was there. But here, in this case, making her a Witcher, and then also saying like she has now, like, let's say, Witcher powers, but she's also using magic, it's making her so overpowered that I do not wonder that some people already called her the Mary Sue, the next Mary Sue of gaming, which is a pity because it's an awesome character, and you are now making out of the character something that some people already start to have a problem with. And when you look at the other red flags, let's say, which are also popping up and which I think are important to consider, it's who's in the studio and who's not currently working on that game. And the fact is that most of the people who were working on the previous Witcher trilogy and the DLCs, like Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, they have left the studio. So there are still a couple of the veterans there, of course, but the writers, for example, have left. Some of the writers, some of the game designers, some of the people who were responsible, like really on a high level for the game, those are no longer there. And I think that because there are now new people, you have a lot of people that are not familiar, not just like with, I wouldn't say they're not familiar with the previous games, probably they are, but they are not really probably that knowledgeable about what is the predecessor of the games, which are the books. And I've seen that there are some people who are, let's say, raising more red flags than just Ciri being a Witcher. So if I look at the other stuff that we have seen, what makes me get another red flag, let me put it that way, is the statement that was here in the IGN interview. We want to aim for the new players, which the executive producer said. The wider audience, and also the people that know the franchise but who maybe do not play our games. The Witcher 3 is probably like one of the most like best-selling games, if not the. I mean, I pulled the numbers, and as you can see, they have sold 50 million units, and as of March 2023. So that was more than a year and a half ago, and it's one of the best-selling video games of all time. So the numbers here are staggering. You already have like 50 million people who have bought the game, and you are still saying like you are aiming for the new players. I think that everybody out there probably already played the game. Like, what new players are you talking about? Who? For me, every time when I see this, like, new audience, let's say, I am starting to be afraid of like what they did with the game, because they are obviously talking about the modern audience, and we all know how that usually ends with the games if the games deviate from the lore that much, and if they go towards the modern audience, disregarding at least a portion of the original fan base. So that for me is another red flag. Like, you sold 50 million copies, all you had to do was, let's say, make a game that would stay in the same spirit or the same soul as the previous ones, and you would have that guaranteed. But starting to mess up the lore and the canon, we can already see that there is some backlash from at least a portion of the original fan base. So you are probably going to lose some of them because of these changes that happened in the game. And I just hope that you have like really a good backup plan, and that the game is really that good that it will attract enough of new players to offset the player base that you are losing. And for me, again, this one thing is just reminding me a lot on Dragon Age the Veilguard. I don't want to imply that this game will be as bad as Veilguard. I hope not. But we haven't seen anything yet from it aside from one trailer. And that trailer currently, even though it's giving me a couple of red flags, it's still, let's say, okay. So I think it will not go down the same path as Dragon Age the Veilguard, or at least I hope so. But it does give me strong Veilguard vibes when I'm reading stuff like that, when I'm seeing these red flags popping up. And then there is also discussions going on regarding what will be in the next game. So there was a confirmation already that Gwent will be returning. So many people will be happy with the Gwent returning in the next Witcher game. I think it was an awesome mini game. It was really very, let's say, well promoted with the standalone game then as well. So I think a lot of people fell in love with the game, even if they have not played originally The Witcher. But then there is another discussion also, of course, going forward by some people where the, let's say, standard fan base is discussing like why they are not really so fond of seeing Ciri as a Witcher. And there is people who are saying, okay, that doesn't really make sense. It would make more sense with a new protagonist or with Geralt or whatever. And also some of the people are clearly stating that what they have a problem with is the, let's say, disregard of the choices that some of the players did in the previous trilogy. I am not sure how they want to explain it. If, for example, for me, my ending, I did play it a couple of times, but most of the time Ciri ended up as the Empress, because for me it was the, let's say, best decision for the continent, and it was the best solution. Sure, it was probably not exactly what she would have wanted, but I think she was a character that was mature enough to recognize the opportunities she had as an empress and what she could influence being the empress, and how this would improve the entirety of the continent, right? So for me, it was a good ending when Ciri was the empress. Now, they canonized Ciri being a Witcher, which completely doesn't make sense to me. But okay, if it would be Ciri as a Witcher in terms of in the books, then fine. She didn't have like undergone the trial of the grasses and would have her own other different unique skills. So, all right. But no, they canonized Ciri being a Witcher, but then gave her the trial of the grasses, and that's already a deviation where the people are discussing it here as well. There's a ton of discussion going on. I will post all the links, of course, at the end of the stream separately in the description, so you can read it yourself. But yeah, there is somebody here, for example, writing, I think just like Interstellar, Witcher 4 is a product that won't by any means bomb, but meeting sales expectations, well, this remains to be seen. As someone said, maintaining Geralt protagonists, they would lose 0 sales. Making Ciri protagonists, they already lost sales, because there are already a lot of people who were saying that they rather not buy the game because they don't want that. And can only lose more as time goes by. But hey, maybe there's an audience out there who didn't play Witcher 3 but will play Witcher 4 and compensate or overlap the sales lost. So there are more people voicing here their concerns regarding this change, right? And they are also talking about like Ciri being the Witcher and undergoing the trial of the grasses. Some are actually like more positive, some are more negative. It's really worth reading that. And I think it mirrors a little bit the concerns that I have as well. And then there was a video. This is from a Minimal Effort Life, but they were discussing, for example, a person who is now involved with the Witcher game, who has, let's say, very controversial statements, or who has made very controversial statements. And I would like to play portions of the video here for you, because I think it's an important information to put things into perspective, why I think this is another red flag. So let me just play the vid. Let me just slow or reduce the volume a little bit, because I think it will be screaming. And let me just check if you can see me. Yeah. Oh, hi, Tekla. So Tekla is here. I looked up some videos stating that perhaps it will be about her not being able to be a Witcher in the end. I don't know. Fans have better ideas than writers. Yeah, I agree with that oftentimes. Dev interviews were full of corpo speak. But okay, yeah, that's to be expected because they are really like a corporation now. Empress, but she needs to live her own experience, but her true self be empowered through defiance. Some beta male feminist journal. Yes, exactly, that one. I mean, for everybody, it was each ending was a little bit like, it was different for everybody what they preferred certain endings. For me, the Empress were making, let's say, more sense as in a greater good. So that's why I did choose that one. Yes, she had to step back. Like for her personally, it was probably not the best choice, but I also don't think, to be honest, that becoming a Witcher is for her the best option to be real. So it's what the game gave us, right? So yeah, but let me go into that bit, and I really hope it will not be too loud. Let me know if it's too loud. Okay, I hope you can hear it well. Good. Let me jump a little bit towards where he speaks about that guy. So there was a guy who was praising basically Dragon Age, and he was saying that it was just a hate campaign against Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and that's why it failed, which I found completely, like, let's say, amusing. And let me see. Oh yeah, there was this one. So it's this guy, he's Maiden, I think. Ruler of RPGs. Okay. Yeah, so basically he was calling the person responsible for the biggest flop in the Dragon Age franchise a ruler of RPGs. I think that's a level of delusional. I don't know. I mean, yeah, so that just gives you an idea. But the same guy. Yeah, let me just skip. Let me just skip. Okay, they're discussing the looks. I honestly, I don't like her new look, to be honest, but for the moment, it's what we have seen is a cinematic trailer. And if you remember the cinematic trailer for The Witcher 3, I did actually put it into my previous vid where I was discussing this. He also looked a little bit different there than what he looked like in the game in the end. So for now, I'm a little bit skeptical, but it's not the end of the world. So let me just put it that way. But there was something regarding this guy. Yeah, that was also one of the points that I have highlighted, right? So Ciri was like the devs and some people from the studio were saying that she's more important than Geralt and she was already in the books, and I do disagree with that. So that was one of the things. And this guy, that's what we are talking about. So we are talking about, let me just make it a little bit bigger. So we are talking about this guy. It's Kian Maher, not sure how to pronounce that. But this is the guy that's currently working for CDPR, as far as I'm aware, and he used to be a game journalist. So let's listen a little bit to the vid. Let me just switch it back so that I can actually see OBS. Audio not playing. Oh, it's not. Okay. Thank you very much. I can hear audio from minimal effort. She can see me. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Good. Should be available now. Let me go back.
Boys. Only boys go through the trials, and then only 3 out of 10 survive. Never explains how Ciri survives the trial and just affirms that yes, she's gone through the trial and now she's a Witcher. So again, the man speaks out of both sides of his mouth, says we're not going to offend or change canon, but then literally says, yeah, we're doing something that's outside of canon. So make it make sense, guys. But a little bit more information about Sean. This YouTuber here, the reviewer, now I'm not going to bother linking to his channel. You guys can probably find this on your own if you Google it, and by tomorrow I'm sure it's going to be a huge story. He put together a video that has a bunch of screenshots, and the reason I say I'm not going to bother linking
it's a little bit bigger now, so you should be able to see it.
This is the kind of content you like. I'm only doing this once. I'm only a gameplay channel, so I'm going to respect his wishes. I'm not going to tell you guys to subscribe, but if you find the video, go give it a like. Definitely appreciate the work this guy did.
Okay, so I don't know who was the original person who posted this,
what
but
you can expect from Sean
there are a couple of good thoughts there.
Witcher 4.
So for me, it started in this Asmongold subreddit topic where someone reposted 2 screenshots from Kian Mar or Maher, who works at CDPR as a lore master or franchise and
lore master,
and who was.
So before, these screenshots are going to like blow by really fast. This one here from Sean says, annoys me when people say Netflix Witcher writers don't respect the lore. They have made sweeping changes, yes. Some of them have been questionable. Others have been outright bad, but it is crystal clear that they love and respect Sapkowski's books. That is a lazy criticism.
Yeah.
Saying that they completely sweep things, make sweeping changes and that they made terrible decisions, but that they respect the lore is literally the definition of speaking out both sides of your mouth.
It does make sense, right? So yeah, either they respect the books or they don't.
At first, I thought that we got ourselves a harmless slop enjoyer or an innocent drone
harmless slop enjoyer
to defend big corpus slop, normal stuff, you know. And even though it was worrisome that a lore master leaves tweets like this, it still wasn't that bad at this point. But then I visited his Twitter profile or X profile, and this is where it all escalated quickly.
All right, so here's a fun one from 2022. You can see this Kotaku article says real-life Witcher school shuts down over organizers' ultra-conservative political ties. He quote tweets it and says, it's okay, I'll start a new Witcher school that'll be welcoming to absolutely everyone who isn't a far-right bigot. Now, it's also important to point out, at this point, he was not working with CDPR on any Witcher game. I believe he didn't get hired with CDPR until 2023.
Let me stop it here. Isn't it curious and interesting how he states that before he was working for CDPR, and then he gets hired by CDPR, and they are working on a game which basically just now entered full production, where exactly that is true, what he wrote here. I will start a new Witcher school that will be welcoming to absolutely everyone. So, as far as we have seen, Ciri has a new medallion for a new Witcher school. So it's kind of curious, isn't it? I mean, it's just, yeah. It's a red flag for me, definitely. But let's listen to some other stuff that was going on here. The gamer. Yeah, there's of course now some ads running. Let me just skip that for the moment. Let me just switch the screen. And yeah, I just I go back to that bit after the ads, but I do find it quite funny actually, like what we are seeing. So these kind of people are now working for CDPR. When I stated, if you remember, that some of the old ones have left, and now we have people like that in CDPR. So it's giving me additional red flags, and I think it starts to be understandable why I am starting to be very skeptical. No audio again. Yeah, I did stop it at this time, but I hope you can hear me at least for now. Look up my community tab. I have linked a better looking older Ciri made by AI. Okay, let me try to find that one. Let me go and check it out. Let me go to your tab and let me try to find it. I will try to find you. I have to first check your handle. Okay. And yeah, it's not, I cannot find it. Damn. Can you write me the handle? Would it be possible? So that I can find the page faster, because I'm not really so great at finding it now. But yeah, I will definitely have a look at it. The link will be faster. I'm not sure if you can post links. I think I have it blocked. So try it without the .com or something. Yeah, just try it without like the HTTPS, because I have normally links disabled during the stream. And yeah, if you could post something here, it would be easier for me to find. But I would definitely check it out, because I'm interested in that one. Let me, in the meantime, continue playing the vid, because I want to skip that ad actually. And where are we? I have way too many tabs open. Good, so the ad is running, and another ad, of course, that's YouTube for you. Good, let me skip that. Good, we're back. Let me just check your reply. Okay, so if you can, send me the link, but I will in the meantime switch to the vid again. I hope you can...
Actual game
I hope you can hear it.
It's quite predictable for gaming journalism. Essentially, he is the most typical gaming journalist NPC with most typical takes, most predictable opinions, likes and dislikes. And even though they are vile and aggressive, it's not that new. We know gaming journalists.
I think that's a good description.
Gaming journalist dislikes gamers.
Of course, it says, I'm once again asking for you to stop being...
Let me check that. As I said before, you cannot post links in the chat, but I mean, you cannot post a full link. But if you, for example, remove the HTTPS or the .com at the end or something, it should be working. So just remove, the HTTPS, for example, from the link and try to post it there like this, because I have links disabled during the live chat. So try that again, but I will go back to the vid in the meantime.
toxic little weirdos, and he put @gamers.
Well, you got it. He dislikes gamers. He uses word gamers almost like a slur.
I will never understand why capital G gamers are pathological conspiracy theorists when it comes to reviewing video games. Critics play them and then write about them. It's not that deep, and if you think it is, you need to detox from the internet for 10 years.
He talks about his
So we have somebody working now.
Gamers, I'm too lazy to type one word into Google, so I decided to write an entire Reddit post instead.
So you have now somebody working for CDPR who is not fond of gamers. And to me, it doesn't seem like he's one if he's bashing gamers this way. I wonder where this person really is coming from, to be honest.
This is a man who is now... I'm just going to mute this real quick. This is a man who is working on a video game as a lore designer for a loved series of books and games, complaining about gamers. I love how this random person with no profile picture hunted down my Instagram to comment on a picture of me and dressing down and criticize my articles about video games. That's kind of weird, but okay. Stalking somebody on their Instagram if you're not actually trying to cover them in an article or a web or video is a little strange. If you're not following the Gamer website yet, please do. We have a lot of cool shit in the works. I followed it, but I hope this won't create the impression that I'm some sort of gamer. Don't worry, we are the true gamers. Oh yeah,
we are the true gamers. Yeah, right. I mean, the delusion of some people. Yeah,
and it just goes on. There are more screenshots that this guy's put together. This one here, Rings of Power Episode 6, is an absolute banger. I look forward to seeing the mental gymnastics some of the more disingenuous online types pull as they try to discredit what is categorically a phenomenal piece of television. So
people who
I don't think we got to dig too far into it. I will go ahead and link this video because there are a lot. There are too many screenshots to really get into. I mean, he has the entire second half of the video is just him complaining about people, hating on people, toxic masculinity. I'm sure that there's tweets in here about white people. And it just gets even better. Far-right ideology. This guy is a complete lunatic, and he is the one behind the lore decisions, the lore curating, if you will, of The Witcher 4. So, guys, this is... I'm sorry. I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to say that my excitement...
This is why it's giving me red flags. There is a guy like this who is currently the lore master for the Witcher 4 game. So that has a lot of alarm bells ringing on my side. And then let's not forget another person, and that person is Mary Kenny. And in case you don't know who that is, that person is currently working not on The Witcher 4, but she is as part of CDPR now and working on the next Cyberpunk game, or supposed to work on the next Cyberpunk game. And she was... quite known for saying one thing, which is we need to pull every lever we have, to increase like the LGBTQ content in video games. I don't know if I should like laugh or cry or whatever, because especially this year, what we have seen, most of the games that are not done in Asia, so by the Chinese or Japanese, are full of this crap. And I am already saying it as it is. It's crap. It's full of this crap. And they want to put even more of it into the games. And you have this person now as well working for CDPR. So of course there's another like red flag coming up and all sorts of alarm bells ringing that we have there new people. We have people who twist the lore, people who want to push LGBTQ plus content, even more of it, into all sorts of games, and people who are lore masters that obviously hate gamers. So I am really very, very skeptical at this point. So yeah, let me switch back a little bit. Yeah, just a quick... Okay, I will now try to find that vid or the picture that you have posted. So let me switch again back to me on the screen. So just give me a second till I find it. Okay, let me try to find it. It should be easier with the handle. And okay. Okay, I did find you, and you are saying on the community tab. Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's an AI generated image of an older Ciri. Let me share that on the screen. Yeah, so that is this one. Thanks a ton for the handle and for the for the picture of Ciri. I mean, she's not exactly looking so happy. It could be the Witcher mutations, probably. It's from another channel, yeah. But still, I mean, it is fitting, to be honest, yeah. And technically, if I look at this, I will be honest, at least this resembles her like a little bit closer than, like, comparing to the Witcher 3 than what we have seen in the Witcher 4 trailer. So I will be honest, yeah, this one looks a little bit closer to, let's say, the reality than the new trailer. But yeah, it doesn't really look so happy. Yeah, thanks a ton for this one. I will definitely store that one and probably use it then somewhere in going forward in some of the next bits. And yeah, I don't know what you think about it. I mean, like, do you have the same concerns, or do you think it will be okay? I don't know. Just let me know what you think, because I would be really curious to hear. It would be curious for me to hear like your opinion. I thought so too. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to criticize the game or what we have seen the trailer for stuff that some other people were highlighting, because I think it's too early and it was like a cinematic trailer, so it's fine for me. But there are things which I'm rather going to criticize, and that's the deviation from the lore or the complete breaking of the lore. And then, these kind of red flags that are popping up. And I am really not so fond of seeing these kind of people working now for CDPR on a game in a beloved franchise. And like I said already in the beginning, I do have really strong, like, Veilguard vibes. I'm really not so fond of some of the stuff that I'm seeing. And I will be honest, what is also for me a little bit more frustrating is the realization that this technically really could end up like another franchise that will be really having a weak or a bad game. I don't think it will be like bombing completely. That's what also some of the other people were saying. So I still think it will sell well, at least with people who really love Ciri and they don't mind the breaking of the lore and they don't care about it. So I'm pretty sure it will sell well. Although I'm not sure if it will be like selling the same amount as the Witcher 3 did. And when I created this channel 1.5 years ago, I was like happily looking forward to new games in the Mass Effect franchise, in the Dragon Age franchise, and the Witcher franchise. I'm still waiting for something new regarding the Horizon games. So these are like the big ones for me that I really love, and I'm seeing it all just like not going well, especially since I have created the channel. And it's kind of frustrating, to be honest, and very disheartening to see stuff like this going on. Dragon Age, for me, it's dead. I mean, I still love the original games and I still love what they did there, and I still want to play them. But I will not touch the Veilguard game with a 10-foot pole. Not a chance in hell. There's not an amount enough money in this world that you would have to pay me to play that nonsense. And Mass Effect 5 is kind of a big question mark for me now as well, because I don't know what's going to happen with it if we consider that there are at least partially the same people working on that game as on Veilguard. I have absolutely like no big hopes for that game. If they will create something normal, not even like on par with the original trilogy, at least at this point I'm just saying normal, because Veilguard wasn't normal for me. then I will be happy. But still, it's kind of a frustrating feeling. And now I'm watching the trailer for Witcher 4 and I'm seeing this controversy and I'm seeing these red flags popping up, and I'm having a really not so great feeling. So yeah, for me it's I'm wary. And yeah, what was it like in the Green Mile? That one actor, he said like, "I'm tired, boss." Yeah, I'm starting to be tired of seeing all these franchises like changing in this way, which is not exactly changing to something better. Yeah, at least for me. It's not gonna sell as many copies, and it will have to rely on the game mechanics more. Yeah, if people say that combat is really good, then the word of mouth should carry it enough to sell 5 to 10 million. I also think that it will be important. We don't know anything about the story, so maybe the story will be really good and it will be really interesting. And if you, like you say, the combat will be great as well, then of course people will play the game because it will be a good game. And of course, there will be a portion of people who will not, because of the lore that was already broken right now. But I think it will still sell enough copies, just like you're saying. So yeah, it's depending on the other, let's say, aspects of the game which we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen the gameplay, we haven't seen the combat, we know nothing about the story. We know probably just one other character. If you remember, there was a mention that there will be this new character called Branko, and there was the actor revealed who will be like voicing that new character. So there is a new character there, but we have absolutely no clue about that character. We know nothing about him, so we don't know what's going to happen in that game. Maybe all this outrage is for nothing, and maybe it will be about something completely different, and the game devs are just, teasing us with something that's not going to happen, and in the end it will be something completely different. I don't know. But like I said, at this point, it's kind of a ton of red flags popping up for me. Yeah, it's too early to tell. I will be definitely following up on that game for sure, and when they release something new and some more information. But I do believe, because they've just now said that they have entered full production, I don't think it's going to be so soon until we see something more. They basically just created this cinematic trailer to give something to the fans at this point, and just hype up the game and start to hyping up the game. But I don't think that it will be happening anytime soon. For me, at least 2-3 years. We need to wait for something tangible to see from the game. Let me put it that way. Yeah. So I will be definitely following up on that game. Let me take a short break. I hope you don't mind. I really need to clean my nose because I have problems with my sinuses at this time. So let me just take a very short break, and then I will be back, because I do have some other topics as well which I would like to discuss and show you. So just a sec, and I will be back shortly. Have to turn on the microphone. So thank you very much for your patience. I'm back now, and I have the next topic, which is actually something that is connected to the original devs from the Witcher series. So as I mentioned, a lot of them have left, and they have created, some of them at least, have created a new studio, which is called Rebel Wolves. And they are going to have a game out, and there is something which is already like what we know about the game. But I wanted to show you something which is important regarding the studio. Let me switch the screen. So as you can see, this is the page of Rebel Wolves, and there are a couple of, let's say, familiar faces. And if you look at these guys, Konrad Tomaszkiewicz was working on the original Witcher trilogy. We have Jakub Samalek, who was the main writer, or was a writer within the original trilogy, and mainly Witcher 3 and then the DLCs, I think. There are a couple of very recognizable faces, Tomasz Wojcik, etc. So we have people here in Rebel Wolves who have been a huge part of the original team working on the Witcher games. And they are working on a game which is called The Blood of Dawnwalker. And I would like to highlight that Spell and Shield has already, I think, 2 or 3 bits regarding the game. So feel free to check it out. There is more information about the game, and I would like to play actually this vid from him, but please go to his channel and see more stuff from his side, because he's having more info regarding the guys that are behind the game in the studio and also behind the game as such. So there is he's a good information source. Okay, so let me just play the vid. Let me just see if we have both sounds. And we should have everything.
Ladies, after so much disappointment this year in terms of gaming, we may finally have some good news. I am, of course, referring to the news surrounding the game Blood of Dawnwalker, a dark fantasy open-world RPG being made by the studio Rebel Wolves. Now, I've been following this game for months now, what little there's been to follow at least, but we finally have a concrete date for a reveal of several key things, and I, for one, am cautiously psyched about it.
So let me go just a little bit back. So we will have something more on January 14th, and you can see the times here. But you can also check out the Twitch channel, which they have. It's also posted here. And also subscribe to Spell and Shield. He's going to post definitely a ton of updates regarding the game. So I would advise you to check it out if you're interested, because for me, from what I heard and seen from Spell and Shield, and from knowing who is in the studio, I think that this game is going to be really great. And I have more hopes for it currently than for the Witcher 4, to be honest.
And I, for one, am cautiously psyched about it. Of course, there's a good chance you've never heard of this game before, and that's why I'm here.
Hey, Artemis!
Because I'm going to talk about everything we know for certain, and then talk about the more speculative theory crafting stuff, which is always fun. Let's start with the studio, Rebel Wolves. They're a Polish studio that was founded only a short while ago in 2022 by none other than the actual brainpower behind the original Witcher games and large parts of Cyberpunk 2077. The CEO and game director for Blood of Dawnwalker is Konrad Tomaszkiewicz. Konrad was at CD Projekt Red for 17 years and was possibly the most important and impactful person at the studio at the time. He was the game director for Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
So we are talking here about veterans, and again, that's one of the reasons also why I was saying with the Witcher 4 trailer that I'm getting these Veilguard vibes, because there's now a very similar situation from Zombieware, aka BioWare. A ton of the original brain power and the original people have left and formed new studios. Currently, one portion has been already shut down in the meantime, nevertheless, there is another portion which is currently Archetype Entertainment working on Exodus, and I will be going in more in detail to that one as well. But they seem to be creating a game which is more in line with the original quality and the original feeling of the games that they've been previously working on. So with Zombieware or former BioWare people, it is with the new Exodus game and in relation to Mass Effect. And with these guys, it looks to be that they are more in line with the quality of the original Witcher trilogy games than the current Witcher 4 game. And that's why I'm also saying I'm getting really strong Veilguard vibes here, and it's not really in a good sense. Yeah.
As well as the game director for the Hearts of Stone expansion. In addition, he was the vice president of game development, secondary game director, and head of production for Cyberpunk 2077. His brother, Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz, is the creative director of Dawnwalker, and has also had a storied career. He was the lead quest designer for Witcher 3, including both the expansions Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, and was both the quest director for the Cyberpunk 2077 base game and Phantom Liberty. The two brothers formed Rebel Wolves based on the desire to create another epic dark fantasy saga.
Yeah, so we have really experienced people here who have been working on some of the best games we know. Of course, yeah, Cyberpunk didn't really have such a great start, but I did fix it to a very good state at this point currently. And at this time, Cyberpunk is considered to be really an awesome game by many players, and it has really increased in sales over time as they were progressively improving it. So I think we need to keep that in mind. We have here people who know how to create really good quality games.
And by all appearances, this truly seems to be a passion project for them. And that is, let's be honest, always the first priority for a good game. Actually being interested in the content of the game and the themes you're working on. And since the announcement trailer, we know a little more about what's coming. We know that the game is called Blood of Dawnwalker, and that it takes place in a location called Vale Sangora, replete with turbulent history, natural landscapes, and secret inhabitants. On the 13th of January next year, on the full moon, we'll get to see a CGI trailer for the game, as well as the building blocks and main concepts surrounding it, and happily, a small bit of gameplay as well. And Rebel Wolves is promising much more than just that. And unfortunately, at this point, this is where the facts, i.e. all the verifiable information, ends, and we are forced to speculate.
Let me stop it here. I don't want to play the entire bit. I would really encourage you to go to Spell and Shield's channel and really check it out there and watch what he has on these games. But yeah, I think it's important to highlight that they are just, let's say, relatively newly formed, as he said. So they formed in 2022. And at the start of 2025 in January, they are already able to, let's say, show us a lot of the work that they did in the meantime. So I think they are really working full speed ahead on this game. And I think they also managed to ensure that they will be cooperating, I think, with Bandai Namco, which was also at the start of the Witcher saga. They were cooperating also, at least on the second game. I'm pretty sure they were cooperating with Bandai Namco. So it shows me a lot also with the trust that Namco has towards the game devs here, because they are recognizing the talent and what they are capable of. So I do believe that there is some quality behind this, right? And like I said, I would definitely encourage you to check it out. I will also post the link to the page, the homepage for Rebel Wolves. There are some more information about the studio, the games team, etc. So you can check it out. But I have at this time really many hopes for this studio and for the game that they are creating. And I really hope that it will be on par with the games that we used to see originally from CDPR. Let me go back a little bit to what you're writing or what you're saying. Artemis is saying, I've been getting a lot of flack on X for pointing out these details, but I'm okay with that. Yeah. The problem is that so many people with who are like really fans of CDPR, no matter who's there, and we are really talking about a lot of new people already, still want to trust the studio to be able to produce the same kind of quality games that we have seen before. They do not really recognize that there has been a lot of changes happening in the background, and there are really some, let's say, hardcore Ciri fans who will be protecting Ciri as the main protagonist, no matter what kind of lore changes CDPR will do. So, and I think it's not really the greatest, to be honest. It's not great to be completely critical at this point because we know not enough. But it's also, I find it completely laughable when somebody is against any critics and tries, to be just positive and doesn't really see anything wrong with what has been shown so far. So, yeah, unfortunately, there will be a lot of people who will be still positive until the very end. And again, this is one of the things where I have to tell you, it's just giving me even more Veilguard vibes, because we have seen the toxic positivity, let me put it that way, for Veilguard until the very day it was released. And then once it was released and the first reviews came in, then slowly the people were going quiet, those that were promoting it so heavily in the beginning. So yeah, it's natural. I think there will always be people who will be trying to protect the franchise or the games that they love at any cost, and not seeing anything wrong with it until the very last moment when it's clear that there is something wrong with it. So yeah, I do not wonder that you have encountered this kind of responses, let's say. Tekla is writing, their website is spotless, no DI speak. Yes, that's what I have noticed as well. Sausage Fest, Joy. Yes, I was also happy when I've seen this, to be honest, because for me it says, yeah, these are veteran guys from the industry. They know exactly what they are doing, and I honestly really trust them to create a great game. So yeah, as I said, I would definitely keep an eye on that one. And by the way, if you want to join Spell and Shield's Discord server, I'm actually there, to be honest, so that's why I also have some more info on that game. He's really posting there some more stuff and some more information about the game, and then also every time when he's creating a new vid, he's posting there as well some more info and highlights it. So, and there's good discussions in that server. So yeah, if you want to join a Discord server with some good people and normal people, I would advise you to check out that Discord server, definitely. And let me check the next thing, which was the Exodus game. And as I said previously, this is again related a little bit to the situation. So these are people formerly from BioWare, or as I call them now, Zombieware. And we have seen the gameplay trailer. And in case you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to play it definitely right now for you, because I think it's really awesome. And then I'm going to show you a couple of other things. But the gameplay trailer, at least for me, it had heavy Mass Effect vibes. This is for me looking more like the Mass Effect 5 game than the one probably Zombieware is currently working on. So yeah, let me play it.
Preparing to transfer now. This is your last chance to bail, June.
Do it.
So yeah, it definitely
Weapon
does
is a
give
hell of a
me
way to greet your new partner.
So
Mass
you're
Effect
June.
vibes.
We're burning time. Now that
And we could see, let me just quickly go back, we could see this is the guy from the original trailer. I think he's a little bit older here, as you can see. And then we have the other companion here as well in the vid. And of course, again, some people say there are some red flags when you just see the haircut. Somebody said maybe there are like really bad hairdressers in the 40th century, so I had a good laugh. I don't know. If the haircut is the only thing that's like weird on that companion, I don't care. A mod will fix it, right? But yeah, so it's kind of a question mark popping up here as well. But still, this is a gameplay trailer, so let's just go ahead.
So you're June.
we're burning time. Now that we're all best of friends, let's make each other rich.
I'm not just here to look pretty. I got away with celestial tech.
Yeah, this one was scary when I have seen it.
I see a lot of potential in this new partnership.
Let me light the way for you.
Target acquired.
Many thanks.
Okay, so we could see also, you know, some stealth or parts of like stealth, maybe missions, or you will be able to do stealth here, which is not so bad. So we have seen a ton of different things, and what I find especially like terrifying are these talking animals. To be honest, it's kind of weird. It's creeping me out. I mean, it's something else to see an alien talking, and it's something else when you see like animals talking. I don't know.
Thanks again for your help.
You should have been honest.
This place is forbidden. The price is death.
That's what it means to be a traveler.
Good, so I hope you did like the trailer. Let me know what you think about it, because I honestly think this one is really looking a lot like Mass Effect, whether it's the combat style. There are some, let's say, new things which we haven't seen, for example, in Mass Effect. The fight with the bear looked totally crazy, to be honest. And I think they are using something similar like what Andromeda had, these kind of jetpacks, and I think they're also using something similar. I think they will have to be a little bit careful not to, let's say, like copy too much of the original Mass Effect games, but in the end, as I said, this one, the whole atmosphere, whether it's the music or the visuals, it's giving me heavy Mass Effect vibes, and I really think for the moment it looks like an awesome sci-fi game. Okay, let me go back to your notes here. Artemis is writing lol zombieware. That's a great one. I have a vid actually where which is called like how BioWare became zombieware, so you can check that one out on my channel if you want. I'm talking about like how it all went to hell. Let me put it that way. BioWare was, yes. Tekla. One lesbian per title is allowed. Yeah, I mean, I was saying actually when I was discussing this on Spell's Discord server that I am wondering like how they are going to deal with the romances in that game, if there will be any romances, how they are going to treat them, if they are going to like make it fixed, let's say, with the player sexuality, so you will have really defined characters with defined sexuality, or if they will go the Veilguard route where they said like basically everybody can romance everyone. So yeah, I wonder about that one. Artemis, it's much the same as I had to point out to people about the new ND game Intergalactic. People don't understand that all the devs that work there are gone now. Neil is a weirdo. Yeah, and I will be honest, when I have seen the screenshots, because I did see the information about the newly revealed games in the morning. The Game Awards were during the night over here, and I only seen in the morning what was going on, and then I've seen some screenshots, and I was honestly asking when I've seen that screenshot of the main protagonist, like, what is this thing? I wasn't even sure, is this a man or is this a woman or what the hell is this thing? So I was just looking awful. I mean, yeah, it was later when I've seen portions of the video, it was clear it's a woman, but oh, come on. Yeah, you could have really made a different type of character and not this ugly one. Yeah, it's just awful, but it tells you a lot, I think, in these days, when you see a character like this, like what the game is going to be like, yeah. This game looks interesting for sure. I don't mind there being the option in games, but it's when they start forcing it, I draw the line. Yeah, exactly. But to be honest, I said it, and I think it's simply also because of the reason of what I have already seen, what happens later. I said when I see another game that has mandatory pronouns and body type A and body type B in the beginning of the game, I'm out. I don't even care about the story or the gameplay or the combat or anything. I'm out, because that's an indicator that there will be some forced nonsense in the game, which I disagree with. And this is for me, currently, unfortunately, already a point where if you would ask me a year ago if I mind, I would probably say, no, not really. At this point, after this year, what happened and everything I've seen, nah, this is such a huge red flag for me that I'm out. So unfortunately, yeah, as long as they don't go down this route and as long as they give you normal, let's say, options to create a character, because as I understood, your character will be customizable, then yeah, a lot will be depending for me also on that, to be honest. Usually pronouns and body type A and body type B are just the start of something more. Yeah, so I'm careful with that, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, like you're saying, when they start forcing it, then that's the problem. In a certain sense, that is already forcing it. Give me the option. So if you are saying, okay, you can, I don't know, choose a different pronoun than your character, and you make clearly a female and a male character, then I don't mind whatever pronouns you give as options, as long as they are optional. So if somebody wants to look like a man and they want to call themselves, I don't know what, okay, a helicopter, we had that already, then go ahead. If you want to choose it, if you have the option, as long as I am not forced to do it, as long as I have a clearly defined male and female protagonist, and as long as I don't choose any of these optional pronouns, as long as the game proceeds in, let's say, what I call a normal manner, because for me that would be normal, then I'm fine with that. But the moment you start forcing me to choose something like that, no, I'm out. Yeah. Artemis is writing, oh, by the way, this is Reckless Uni. By the way, sorry, I forgot I was on another channel when I started chatting, but yeah, these are things in keeping in mind with the development of Ex Machina, yeah. I 100% identify as an Apache attack helicopter, yes. I think that when I heard it the first time, I had a good laugh, yeah. Somebody really took the nonsense to this level and said, okay, yeah, if you are calling yourself whatever, then I am a helicopter. So yeah. I think it just underlines the nonsense in this pronoun stuff. Yeah, I don't even have words for that. For me, it's something like, especially coming from a gendered language and being in the culture where I am. First of all, if you would try to give different pronouns here, to somebody, it wouldn't work because, like I said, the whole language is gendered, and you cannot simply start calling people a different gender, just like you cannot start calling basically anything, even like inanimate objects have like a gender. You cannot even change the gender for those inanimate objects, much less for people. I mean, you can try, but there will be only two reactions. First one will be, oh, that's probably a foreigner who butchers the grammatic and doesn't know like the grammar and doesn't know how it works. So yeah, let me correct that person, and you would be non-stop corrected. Or if you would do this as a native speaker and people would notice you're a native speaker and you do it on purpose, I can tell you right away about 90% of the people the reaction would be and keep their distance, because obviously something's wrong with you. So yeah, it just doesn't work in this country, and especially in this language, it just won't work. So I find it also curious how some of the languages with this pronoun nonsense are being like localized. I will be honest, I haven't checked out some of the recent, let's say, modern nonsense games with this pronoun BS. In like the local language, I would probably have to check like they are localizing this nonsense in the gendered languages. So it might be fun actually to check out. I see, maybe I should do a vid about that one. That is not a bad idea. Artemis is writing, most countries are actually like that. For example, Spanish and Japanese don't support pronouns. Yeah. I mean, there are countries that are still like, let's say, resisting a lot of this nonsense. I even heard some of my friends saying that, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we've been still living like in communism, and we had the like Iron Curtain here, and we were behind the curtain, and everybody was wishing like for the curtain to one day disappear and for us to come closer to the West, which then happened, and we were happy. And fast forward a few decades, and I heard lately somebody say, when I'm seeing what's going on in the West, I'm starting to think maybe tearing down that Iron Curtain wasn't such a good idea. Maybe we needed to keep them out. So yeah, I think that's kind of a funny take, but unfortunately it tells you a lot about what's currently going on and how it's perceived here, especially because of the, let's say, experiences that the people have had here. I would say a lot of the people in Central and Eastern Europe are very careful with like mandatory stuff being pushed on them, because they still like remember what was happening before 1989, and we don't like that. We don't like being told what to think. We don't like being told what to say and how to say it, and this is reflected also in how it's perceived. Like for example, when something like this neo-pronouns is entering the countries here, and somebody tries to push it here, so most people are saying like no, stay away. Yeah, so it's kind of a combo with like common sense. People here a lot of the times have like still this kind of common sense, and then the experiences that mainly the older generations have. I mean, I still remember it as well, how it was, and yeah, I do not ever wish to go back to that, to be honest. So yeah, that's why I'm saying I would love to see how the localizations are going. Yeah. Good. Let me just quickly check back what I have on Exodus. So there was, aside from the gameplay trailer, as you can see on their page, also the second episode of Meet the Exodus, the like people from the studio behind Exodus, and the gameplay animator has a vid here as well, so it's kind of fun to check that one out. And also they have released a ton of the information about the let's say protagonists or the species that will be available in the game, and they have dedicated like short vids to everyone. And I think it's worth checking out. And also on their homepage, if you check out the news section. Sorry, if you check out the news section, they have a lot of information here as well. And by the way, the book which is available, I'm still reading it. It's a lot. I mean, I have shared it on the last stream. It's a huge book. It's huge. So I'm not sure when I'm going to finish it. Hopefully now during the Christmas holidays. Because I really like the story, to be honest, and I do like how the universe is portrayed. And in case you haven't bought the book, I would definitely advise you to do that, regardless now of whether you like the game or whether you are going to buy and play the game. But if you are a sci-fi fan, the book is really well written, and I really like the universe that Hamilton has created here. So definitely I would advise you to buy that book. So there's a ton of information here as well on their page, and I will be honest, so far I'm still looking forward to this game. It really looks great. So there is at least some highlight for me, whether it's in the sci-fi area, which is Exodus, or it's now by Rebel Wolves in the fantasy genre. I really have at least like something positive to look forward to, and I'm really happy because, as I said in the beginning, it's been kind of a frustrating year from a gaming perspective, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, it's something positive to look forward to. Artemis is writing, uncommon sense nowadays, sadly. Yes, it's most people have like uncommon sense. Yeah, that's true. Good, and that would be everything that I have prepared for today. I just would like to highlight that next week we have the Christmas holidays, and I know that in every single country it's a little bit different. In some countries, let's say the 25th, 26th are more important. For us, the 24th is like the most important day. Christmas Eve is basically when we have the family dinner, and then we actually share after the dinner the Christmas gifts and like spend the evening and the night together as a family. And 25th, 26th is like, yeah, let's visit the wider family and let's just talk to each other and spend some nice 2 days off. But the most important bit is on the 24th, and because that falls on a Tuesday, I will be not posting a vid next Tuesday, and I will take let's say that next week a little bit off, so I will be spending more time with the family and with some friends and so on. So I'm not sure yet if I will be posting a vid on Friday, next Friday. I would like to, but like I said, family first at this time. And then I will go back to the normal, let's say, standard uploading the week after. So basically that will be on the 31st. Oh, good Lord. that will be definitely a bit posted over there. Maybe I do something like a yearly summary review or something like that. So that might be actually fun. And good news, bad news. I have shared on my channel previously that was in August that I've been laid off. So I did take some time off as well. Like from my side, I did a little bit relaxing and were focusing more on the YouTube channel and working on it full speed ahead. And I am having a new job starting with February. So January will be very busy and I'm looking forward to it from a YouTube perspective. So you have definitely something that's coming your way. I have a couple of ideas. And then since February, as I said, I will be probably having less time due to having a full-time job. So I am not yet sure how I will adjust the schedule. So just let's say a heads up. I would still love to do as many vids as I'm doing normally. So at least like 2 per week on a Tuesday and on a Friday. But I guess it will be quite an extensive learning time period for me during the at least February and March time. So I'm not sure how much time I will have to dedicate to YouTube. So just a small heads up. But I would love to definitely give you something like interesting to watch, definitely. So just FYI, for me, good news. Definitely, I'm really happy and I'm looking forward. And and from my side, there is one thing that I will be definitely posting next week. Same what I did last year. It will be like Christmas wishes vid. So that's definitely one that you can look out for. It will be posted then on Monday. So that's just a small heads up. I will be doing then at the start of January let's say an outlook of it on what's to come during the next year, or what at least what my plans are. As we could see during this year, they have changed, but nevertheless, I will be like giving you some more information then at the beginning of January, what's going on throughout the next year and what's new for this channel then that I'm planning for the next year. So that's it from my side. I hope you did like it, the stream, even though I had some technical issues here and there, but yeah, happens. At least we didn't have any cats with zoomies that would destroy the Christmas tree over there behind me. So that's a positive thing for me, to be honest. So yeah, let me switch maybe back to the full screen. So from my side, I wanted to thank you, whoever was here on the stream, especially to Tekla and Artemis, who were discussing some of the stuff with me. I'm really grateful, and I'm really always enjoying it when I see some good discussion going on. So thank you very much. And to all the rest of you, have great holidays. Take some rest, spend some time with our family if you can. And thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned and game on.